Question: when did being pale become associated with being ugly? No, like in all seriousness, I want to talk about the winter uglies, okay? Because that has been one of the main things that's kept me feeling unhappy about the idea of winter, when I don't feel like I am maybe looking my best as I would in the summertime. And there's a few things that I want to unpack here about this idea of the winter uglies, and potentially some things that we have to detox from and approach to like ourselves a bit more, love ourselves a bit more. I don't know what that accent was, but it's just like appreciating ourselves more. It's going to be a shorter episode for this one because it's just more of a baby episode to living your life with the seasons and approaching maybe a few things that are real struggles per season. I was just spending this past weekend with my gran, and she'd say that her mom, and she's Norwegian, would always tell her, Mary, you have to put on weight in the wintertime. You have to be putting on weight in order to be healthy for winter and make sure that you're not going to be too cold. You know, like it was more for this like survival reason, less to be like looking a certain way. I think the difficulties of wintertime is most of us gain a little bit more weight in the winter because of the comfort food. After the holidays, like a lot of us feel guilty of all the chocolate that we've consumed and the good, amazing, yummy food. And we're like rejecting that for trying to stay as lean as we want in the summer. And this whole idea of like living more with the seasons and living more with winter is to just mesh yourself with that season. And a lot of us, you're trying to act like it's summer in a winter body. So this is going kind of building off of the New Year's resolutions. A lot of us are saying like we want to eat healthier, eat cleaner, yada, yada. And most of those foods are not even in season. What is not in season are a lot of fruits and vegetables. There are some that are like being grown in greenhouses, but it's not the same as in out in fields. So that already sets us up for a more difficult time to get leaner. And then secondly, our body is recognizing the change in temperature and noticing how cold it is outside, that it wants to maintain more body fat, and it slows down the metabolism in order to do so. So that's even more difficult to lose that weight. Weight is definitely one of the struggles. Another one is being pale. You lose a lot of your summer glow in the winter. However, I don't want us to keep feeling like being tan means being beautiful. My sister is a redhead, so she'll always be on the paler end of people. And she's different than other redheads where she doesn't freckle. Like she has a bit more of like color, probably because we're also Italian. However, she is pale and she doesn't really tan even in the summertime. But I think that she's like one of the most beautiful women I know. So it doesn't make sense to me. Color of skin, shade of skin, whether or not someone has more or less melanin doesn't really equate to somebody's beauty to me. I think a lot of us, unfortunately, are still holding on to that more than we would like to admit. And I'm loving this new movement of trying pale girl makeup and really like using less bronzer during the wintertime because we are not bronze, and trying to enhance our beauty that is already there and existent in that season versus the summertime. I love it because it is focusing on what we have, not what we don't have. And I remember I was just constantly in this negative cycle of feeling really ugly in the winter because of how pale I was. And I'd self-tan a lot. I'd self-tan on a weekly basis. You know how the girls will like do that and self-tan, exfoliate, remove it, and repeat. And in the pandemic, I decided to halt everything that was going against my natural beauty, including bleaching my hair, tinting my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And one of it is self-tanning. I do get a little bit tan in the summertime, and I love that. That's wonderful. However, I need to stop viewing that as my ultimate beauty. And in the wintertime, I'm not at all. And I did gain a little bit. I'm gonna totally admit with you ladies and boys and whoever's listening, I gained weight over the holidays. I indulged in the chocolate and the cookies and the extra food. And I got a second serving because I'm like, this is incredible food. And I was so grateful for it. And I will say I struggled with my body image a little bit. And I had to catch myself being like, Bianca, what are you doing to yourself? Like, you are beautiful. And you know what's great? You can walk outside and not feel like you need to pass out from the cold because it's so freezing, because you have a little bit more on you right now. Our obsession with the way we look versus we feel is exhausting. It's exhausting. And winter is such a wonderful time to reconnect with your true beauty, your true essence, and use that as this like inner light through the rest of the seasons to make it contagious. It's contagious to be confident and like really love yourself despite what might be trendy. Or, you know, I never even really labeled me feeling insecure in the winter until somebody was like, the winter uglies, or just like not liking the way you look in the winter. And you know what I'm doing now? I'm going to give 4 tips. First tip is color analysis. I'm obsessed with color analysis. I love the idea of finding like the colors that are meant for you, and also noticing like in the winter time when I have more of a clear complexion. So I'm going to get, if anybody doesn't know what color analysis is, look into it. It's so cool. But your complexion might change. So in the winter time, my complexion is more of like a clearer complexion, and even more so than in the summertime where my hair lightens, my skin darkens, and everything kind of blends more together. So it's more of a soft complexion. And you can kind of use that to your advantage during the winter when I can wear more bold colors, more reds, more vibrant greens, and everything is a bit more warm. And I think I'm an autumn. I'd love for somebody to do it for me, but I think I'm an autumn. So I like more warm colors. However, I can wear more bold colors in the wintertime and I have a lot of fun with that. And it actually looks a lot better on me in the wintertime than it does in the summertime because I have a clear complexion. So I almost like getting that change where I can be more experimental and have fun. Like, I feel like there's some people that are like me out there who get bored really quick, and the seasons keep things fun. Like capsule closets keep things fun, knowing that, oh, like I'm going to be a bit more pale and my complexion will be more clear so I can have more vibrant colors versus maybe more pastellies in the summer. That's fun. It keeps things fresh. Like, I love it. I will say, to close off this, because this is a little rant, but this is also me to just enlighten you with this negative idea. Like, let's just stop with the winter uglies, okay? Know, one, about your color analysis and maybe how this can change your complexion and how you can use that to your benefit. Like, you can wear brighter lipstick, brighter clothes, brighter nail color. Your hair might be a little bit darker because it's not being lightened by the sun. And none of these are negatives, but once again, we're trying to act like it's summer in a winter body. And I think just surrendering to that, this is the season, because to be honest, I think fake tan doesn't look as good as your natural beauty. I don't think dyeing your hair look as good as your natural beauty. At the end of the day, do what you want. But I feel having moments where you have your natural beauty shine through is just so magical, and it can be really fun and experimented. That's number 1. 2, so resist the urge to fake tan and conceal all these winter uglies. Resist the urge to try and act like it's still summer. So this is kind of piggybacking off of the color analysis, but try just this winter to not fake tan. Just try and see how things will change and what you're going to learn about yourself. Let yourself experiment and resist the urge to feel like you need to tan in order to feel beautiful. That is an opportunity for you to start falling even more in love with yourself and getting used to that feeling of being really in love with yourself, despite gaining a bit of extra weight during the holidays, despite being more pale, despite, all these differences in your appearance. You're like, I still love me. This is fun. Let's explore. Another one is learn to nourish your body and skin more in the season from the inside out. There's no coincidence that citrus fruits are more in season during the winter. Vitamin C is incredible for your immune system. And I am just trying to eat more of my retinol and eat more of my vitamin C. Retinol is really great to use in the winter if you are somebody that enjoys being outside, because there's not as much harsh sun. And you're able to put retinol on your skin along with eating it, because it's just vitamin A, right? And then also eating a lot of vitamin C. Eating things from the inside out is going to be so important during this season, because there's only so much you can topically put on. And there is a reason why some things are in season, right? And use that to help support you and your body. Hydration masks too. I love hydration masks. I feel like I'm more like combination skin more than anything, but I used to be I'd say that I used to be oily, and now I'm combination. So now I enjoy like the nice hydration masks on my skin to help keep things like really vibrant and bright. You have to adapt, right? I love vitamin C and carrots because it like has a natural glow in my face because I'm eating my vitamins and drinking lots of teas and hydrating myself properly, both topically and inside. And lastly, learn to accept the fluctuations of yourself and pour more love into you. I like to do this thing. If I'm being hard on myself, I will start to see like the teenage version of me, like the age where all of this began, all the body insecurities, all these insecurities in the way we looked. I go back to that age and I'm like, I love you. I'm so sorry I'm being hard on you right now. You're so beautiful. What can I do to help support you? You might cry. You might cry because that's the core root of many of our insecurities there with our physical appearance, because that's where it started. When we were children, there's differences there. We don't really care too much because we're not really getting this drive to find a boyfriend, find a partner, procreate like we do when we're reaching our hormone years. So naturally we think about like, how do I look? How do I present myself? How do I draw people in? And we can get lost in it, right? We can get lost in that. But I hope this kind of like, reset your way of thinking about the winter uglies. Like, girl, you're not ugly. Nobody's ugly in the winter. Okay. We're different. Let's learn to align with the energy of winter and just adapt. Different types of clothes, different vibrant colors, less fake tan. Really, truly learn to love yourself beyond the physical appearances, and also to support yourself further is nourish your body in the best time during the season with vitamin C, some warm comfort foods like we need. Like my grand said, we got to gain a little bit of extra weight to not freeze out there, and hydration masks, because it's good to stay hydrated always. And if this interests you and you haven't really heard about aligning your life with the seasons, I have an entire guide about aligning your life with the seasons. There's a preview on my website, so you can kind of read through the first little bit of it for free. And if you feel like it aligns with you, to learn to embody the essence of winter more and plan less with the Gregorian calendar and more with the seasons, I'd love for you guys to check it out. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. This brought me energy, this one. Send this to a friend who might like it. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.